My name is Gary Condi. My relationship to the club, been involved with the club over 40 years. I came onto the board of directors in 1976. Currently on the advisory board. I've always had one or more hats on for the Boys and Girls Club. I'm now in my 41st or 42nd year. I guess I would say two things. Number one, I've certainly been involved with administration. I was president for 4 years of the governing board, and then I was also president of the foundation for 2 years. I was also involved as the treasurer, chief financial officer for a number of years. I'm an accountant, a CPA by profession, so it was kind of an easy fit there. I got close to the kids. I have some wonderful memories there, and that's what hooks you. You get close to these kids, and boy, you fall in love with them. You get involved with their lives. You coach them a little bit. You help them out. We've helped some with scholarships, helped them get into college and go on. I can tell you some wonderful success stories. As a matter of fact, maybe there will be time to tell you a couple of them. Dr. Ronnie Memran, who, there's an exciting story. One of our kids is now a neurosurgeon. You have a brain surgery, and that means a lot to me because about 35 years ago, I had a large brain tumor removed and nearly died. At the time, there were very few people that were just learning how to do it. Very few people in the world that knew how to do it. And today, Dr. Ronnie Memran in Walnut Creek has finished his residency. He is now up there and can do that surgery. He and I have been together and visited about it. With a grin on his face, he says, I could take care of you now. We've come so far. Back then, what did we have? We had the need, and we did the best we could to try and fill that need. What was it? Well, it was pretty humble. We had little sheds, is what we affectionately called them, on the corner of the school playgrounds. The shed was big enough to hold soccer or basketball or baseball equipment or things like that or whatever, but it wasn't big enough that people could get inside and you could run any program. Over the years, as you know, we have grown. We now have two beautiful facilities, one here on the west side between Clarita Junior High School and Hart High School, and then the second one, the newer one, over in Canyon Country, the junior high school right there. I can't talk very long without mentioning Jim Ventress's name. I remember when Jim was hired, and I could tell you lots of stories, and they're all good, about that process and how it was. But I remember when the selection committee came down to the final decision, Jim had won their hearts. I remember Tom Vilos, who was president at the time. Tom, with a grin on his face, as a compliment to Jim Ventress, said he challenged us. And we all said, what do you mean? And he said, if you want to do the full program of the Boys and Girls Club and offer the full benefit, you've got to have a building where you can do more than just tuck away the soccer ball or the baseball bat and the baseballs and things like that. You have to have an education center, a computer learning center, help the kids with their homework, which we have done. We watched kids take their grades maybe from a D to a B or a C to an A or whatever. They were getting that after school help that they needed. We couldn't do that until we had a building. All the other programs that we were able to add when we finally had these beautiful buildings. So we've come a long ways in the right direction. It gives people a good choice, a better alternative. People have a place to go. They have programs that provide skills, values, and things that they may not otherwise have. Lots of times, a lot of the kids come from single-parent homes, and I'm going to say the mother because that's frequently the mother. The mother is tapped out. She gets up early in the morning, fixes lunches, fix breakfast, get the kids dressed, and they head out the door at a pretty early hour. And then she works all day. That's a sacrifice. That's hard on the whole family. The whole family has to cut back in other areas. We supplement that. We give the kids a great place to come after school where they have help with homework. Like I said, when Jim Ventress's challenge, let's go ahead and build buildings so that we can have a full program. We watched kids literally go from a D average to a B or a C to an A average. They had a place to study and people, the staff, to help them with their homework. Guess what? These kids are now going to college when before they couldn't get in. Does that make a difference? You know the answer. Well, I guess I will say this if it isn't too personal. I was born and raised pretty poor. I was on the poor end of poor. Life has been good to me. I have been blessed beyond belief. And I've only been blessed because of the opportunities that were given me by somebody who was in a position to do that. As we know, we all know the saying, pay it forward or pass it on or whatever. Whenever there's an opportunity to help somebody go to college that maybe couldn't go otherwise, or get ahead whatever way in life, help them make good decisions, I jump on it. It's just a treat. Where do I see the club in the next 50 years? I see more of the same good stuff. Two stories. I remember our local newspaper, The Signal. Y2K, we might all remember that. Year 2000 when we started the new millennium. And they came out with a special issue. They decided to take on the challenge, listed the 100 most influential people and ranked them, by the way, in Santa Clarita Valley. Jim Ventress is the person they chose as number one. And I was president at the time of the club. And yes, The Signal interviewed me, and we talked about it. But I know at the time, we did ran some numbers. We estimated at the time that Jim had touched about 26,000 lives. Well, what will we do over the next 50 years? We'll touch another 26 or 46 or whatever the number is, 1,000 lives. And I go back to these kids again. The alumni reunions, that's where it all comes out. The open mic period where the kids tell you where they are in life now. And here we are. This is what touches my heart and tells me we're doing the right thing. The kids get up there and kind of tell where they are in life right now, and they probably brought two of their children. They introduce their children. Then there's a little pause. They collect their composure and say, but I don't know where I would be in life if it weren't for the club. That just lets you know, yep, we're doing the right thing. To the Santa Clarita Valley Boys and Girls Club, best wishes, congratulations on a 50-year anniversary, and best wishes for another 50 years and more. It's been a great run on Broadway, and I look forward to more.